USA! USA! USA!
Here we are in the Rodgers Center, getting ready for the final game of Pool C. As we take a look at get ready to take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting team. It's Venezuela playing the visiting team. They were the home team the first time these two teams met. And of course, that was a game in which Venezuela actually had a lead 3-2 going into the 6th inning. And all of a sudden, Team USA's offense erupted. We'll take a look at that lineup in just a moment. Here's Gregor Blanco to lead things off. The speedy center fielder facing Ted Lilly. We saw a lot of this last night. We've seen a lot of it throughout this World Baseball Classic. Guys very aggressive early on, regardless of who's out on the mound.
Well, Ted Lilly, like a lot of starters, trying to get that first pitch going, getting the count going in his favor. Pitch more in the middle of the plate, and then he'll divide the plate into thirds.
And not a warm welcome here at the Rodgers Center by the fans that are in attendance here. Of course, Lilly pitched here with the Toronto Blue Jays.
That goes back to a skirmish that he had with then manager John Gibbons on the hill, and also it tended to extend it down into the tunnel and into the clubhouse. Both Gibbons and Lilly, a war of words, as it were.
It was back in the summer of 2006. And John Gibbons immediately said right afterwards that he went too far. But it was all about just coming out of the game. Lilly felt he should have stayed in the game, said his piece out there, and it probably just got a little bit more blown out of proportion than it really needed to. He is with the Chicago Cubs, of course, working a deep count here to start this last ball game in Toronto.
Lilly is a very short strider, has a big off-speed breaking ball. He just kind of lifts that leg up and puts it down, not a very long stride. And because of that, easy for him to get over the hook.
Sawed him off right to Rollins. There's the first out. Lilly last year with the Cubs, 17-9. Venezuela comes into this one with a 2-1 record, managed by Luis Sojo. Gregor Blanco to lead things off. Mora at third base. Abreu and right. Cabrera at first. Ordonez in left. Mora swings the first pitch. Easy play for Ryan Braun. Here's out number 2. Carlos Guillen, the DH. Marco Scudero did not get in the game yesterday. He's over at second base. Henry Blanco doing the catching. Cesar Estouris at shortstop. And pretty much the starting 9 for both managers here. Of course, both of these teams are in. They're going down to Miami for round number 2. But as we said in the open, this is about the seeding down in Miami.
Well, Davey Johnson's not handling this game any differently than the previous 2. He wants to get one in the win column. Momentum so important. It's really kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament where one game flows into the next, and momentum very important.
Abreu, 5 for 12, and he really came about as the Venezuelan faithful here just saying happy birthday to Bobby Abreu in Spanish.
Well, we talked to him last night, and he was very enthusiastic about this World Baseball Classic. He's having an absolute ball.
It's the first time I'd actually had a chance to sit down and talk to him. And very gracious, nice guy. I mean,
easygoing guy.
Absolutely.
There's another easygoing guy.
No doubt. He's breathing a little easier today with the output that Venezuela had last night against Italy. Certainly took the focus off of the pitching shenanigans that Luis Sojo started off with.
That's right. Speaking of pitching, a good little cut fastball slider type pitch going away from Abreu.
And he got him. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Ted Lilly. He does it very economically. We head to the bottom of the first inning in Toronto with no score. Bottom of the first, no score. There's a look at the starter for Team Venezuela, who's seen action already in this tournament, Victor Zambrano. He's pitched 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, and 4 earned runs. Joe, you're very familiar with Victor Zambrano. Jimmy Rollins takes outside. He can be timid at times.
Can, and sometimes reluctant to throw the ball over the plate.
Rollins out to Gregor Blanco for the first out. The lineups for Davey Johnson, Jimmy Rollins, a shortstop. It's Dustin Pedroia at second base. Derek Jeter getting the start at DH this evening. Kevin Youkilis at first. David Wright at third. Adam Dunn out in right field. He's been swinging the bat well. Ryan Braun in left. Brian McCann back behind the plate. And Shane Victorino in center field. Here's Pedroia, who's had a tough go of it throughout the tournament. Just 2 for 11. Those two, both doubles, and he's also picked up a couple of runs batted in.
Well, Pedroia very aggressive. You know, there's a lot bigger and stronger guys in Team USA's lineup, but I don't think pound for pound anyone swings harder than Dustin Pedroia does.
And almost to a man, especially guys that didn't really know him prior to coming to World Baseball Classic, said, my favorite guy, Dustin Pedroia, just based on how he is in the clubhouse.
Well, he is pretty much how you see him. He's gritty, very aggressive.
Nice play by Miguel Cabrera. The big man leaving his feet, robs Pedroia of a hit. That's out number 2.
He's kind of summoning his third base instincts over at first. A beautiful play to the backhand side.
Well, defense is what you get. Ordonez in left, Blanco at center, Abreu in right, Moore at third, Asturias, the shortstop, Scudero at second, Cabrera, of course, at first, and Henry Blanco doing the catching as Jeter is jeered here at the Rodgers Center. Jeter 2 for 5 here in the Classic, as we pointed out, getting the start at DH. He's done a little bit of in his career, but has struggled in that role. Just 211 as a designated hitter. 38 at bats. Moore has got it on 2 hops. And Zambrano returns to favor. A 1-2-3 inning for Venezuela. We've played 1 complete inning at Toronto with no score. No score, top of the second inning. Take a look at the umpires. Dan Isagna behind the plate. It's Carlos Rey from Puerto Rico at first base. Jerry Meals from the States. He's at second. And Minoru Nakamura. He is over at third base. And Nakamura was actually the guy at third base when these two teams last met. And he ended up calling a home run for Ryan Braun. That was clearly foul. So he's back over at third base. It's Miguel Cabrera takes strike 1. Lilly with a strikeout in the first inning.
See, Lilly does have that big breaking ball.
There's Cabrera's home run from last night against Italy. 0 for 3 hits in last night's game. The only 3 hits he's had so far. Over at third. Clearly swinging the bat a lot better over the last 4 or 5 at-bats.
Talking about the breaking ball of Lilly, and he is a short strider where he just kind of picks it up and puts it down. These are the cut fastballs, the sliders that he throws to Bobby Abreu. Just ducking underneath the bat. And then the put away pitch in almost the exact same spot.
Rodgers takes ball 1. And that, of course, is set up by the fact, and as you can see, you saw right there, Bray stepping into the bucket, opening up Lilly's ability to come inside to a left-handed batter as well.
Any left-hander that pitches well against left-handed hitters has the ability to come inside. If he didn't, an experienced lefty like Brayu, who does sit breaking ball a lot, could just lean out over the plate, look for the breaking ball, and shoot it into left center field. You have to make the hitter aware of the inside part of the plate to have any effect on the outside part. It's like that old pitching adage, you throw inside, but you pitch away. You throw in to get them aware of the inside part of the plate and make your pitches down and away.
Lays off there, and it's 3 balls and a strike.
Well, the Braves for so many years with that simple adage with Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz and Avery, with that very simple pitching tenet of loading up on the outside part of the plate.
Toward the hole, Rollins can only knock it down as Ordonez will reach on the infield single. Some would argue, though, that the pitching away for the Atlanta Braves got a little out of hand during that time.
Well, the strike zone get a little wider, and of course it's drawn back in. In fact, in talking to Tom Glavine, he said he just really thought the plate all of a sudden got smaller. And Jimmy Rollins knows he overran that one a little bit. He has very high standards and expectations of himself at short. Great range, especially going into the hole.
Here's Carlos Guillen, the DH, switch hitter in from the right side. 3 for 10. And guys went out to left center field. Victorino calls off Braun. 2 outs.
That's something that can present some challenges for the outfielders. Victorino, knowing that as a center fielder, he's the quarterback, and you have guys that are still trying to get used to how they cover the gaps, the range they have in the gaps. Braun was thinking he had a beat on that until he was called off by Victorino.
A little bit different in the World Baseball Classic than that of the All-Star Game, where you throw guys just together all of a sudden. You have
right.
Here they've had at least some workouts. They've had 3 exhibition games. Now Team USA playing their 3rd game as a unit in the Classic. Venezuela playing its 4th, coming through the losers bracket is Marco Scudero. Swings and misses.
And that's where that scenario ensues, Victor, where it's basically double elimination for 5 games, and then game 6, this one here tonight, Venezuela is going to advance, and they may do it with 2 losses.
Which is the one thing we've been talking about for the last couple of days. It is odd in a double elimination tournament that a 2-loss team will advance, but as you pointed out, this game really just signifies the winner of the pool and the seed to 2nd round. The tournament, for all intents and purposes, came to an end, at least the 1st round, last night when Venezuela beat Italy and clinched the 2nd spot coming out of this pool. 2 teams from every pool will advance to the final 8.
But Davey Johnson knows it's important to not just pack this game in, to continue to garner that momentum. These players have talked about how well they have gelled, how much fun they have had. There still is an acclimation process, so the chemistry at short, at second base. The pivot around the bag, and we talked about the outfield as well.
He's always been known to have a good pickoff move.
Well, he has a good pickoff move or a hang move because he is a short strider.
Rollins has got it. There's a 3rd out. Lilly very effective, just thrown 24 pitches through his first 2 frames. Middle of the 2nd, no score. Kevin Youkilis to lead things off for Team USA as we start the bottom of the second inning. This is what Kevin Youkilis has done in this World Baseball Classic. A couple of home runs, 3 runs batted in, and 3 for 8 thus far. It'll be Youkilis, Wright, and Dunn against Victor Zambrano.
I mentioned that Victor Zambrano is the type of pitcher that likes to nibble, and he's not going to get a lot of help from Kevin Youkilis, who is very good at commanding the strike zone.
Youkilis last year, 312, 29 home runs, and 115 driven home for the Boston Red Sox.
He does not have throwaway at bats.
He was clean shaven about a week ago. Starting to get it going.
Probably has to shave in the morning and the evening.
I almost didn't recognize him the first time I saw him. We were out about for dinner, and all of a sudden here's a guy that obviously shaves his head, but you're used to seeing him with that big thick goatee.
Right.
First base runner for Team USA. Brings up David Wright, the third baseman.
Victor Zambrano has had Tommy John surgery and still trying to get that extra foot on his fastball, that extra mile-an-hour bat. Normally a very hard slider.
Seven big league years in for Victor Zambrano, 45 and 44 record and a 4.64 ERA. Toward the hole, Asturias to Scudero, and Cabrera has it clank in and out of the glove.
Made to order double play. He's already made a nice play going to his right, snagging a line drive of Pedroia, but this is as routine as it gets, and the operative word, you mentioned it, clank. Gets his feet a little crossed up, and as a result that hardened his hands a little bit, or his glove. Kind of blocked himself off.
Yeah, look, he was trying to do that little sweep and walk off the bag all at the same time. A little too quick, so Braun reaches. He's done, takes ball 1. Dunn 3 for 4 in the Classic, 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in, and he certainly has not been cheated in his home runs. One the opposite way on a good off-speed pitch.
Footwork, footwork, footwork.
Home run that Dunn hit against Venezuela a couple of days ago. A mammoth one into the second tank here at the Rodgers Center.
Well, he's pretty happy the way he has swung the bat here in Toronto. Actually surprised at how well he is locked in.
I think the two guys that stand out when we start realizing where we are as far as the spring training schedule offensively, Adam Dunn, Carlos Guillen.
Right.
Davide Dell'Ospedale of Italy, not so much. I had to get it in one more time.
And you can really tell that you absolutely love that name, and you say it with such passion.
It was fun hanging with those guys last couple of nights.
They
great
really
bunch of guys.
Enjoy themselves. You're right.
Zambrano staying away from Dunn. A full count. Leaning there, taking his lead, and Zambrano trying to keep him close.
Zambrano really slows the pace down with runners on base.
going, and Cabrera's only placed to first base. So they stay out of the double play. The inning stays alive, and it'll be up to Ryan Braun to try to bring home the game's first run.
Davey Johnson does not want to pack this game in. That's a real good effort out of his lads going to Miami with Big Mo on their side. Managed the World Championship with the Mets in 1986. And we were talking about it earlier, Victor. You look at Davey Johnson's record and the places he's been. All he's done is won.
Every single place. It's one of those things that you know, and that's why he got the opportunity to manage several teams. There's a strike.
Well, this guy's got some kind of whip in his swing.
.37 home runs for the Brewers last year with 106 driven home. The 07 National League Rookie of the Year.
Cobra-like reflexes.
And a connoisseur of fine clothing, we are told.
He's a fashion plate.
Yes, he is.
His fashion is taking Milwaukee by storm.
One-two to Braun. This one into right field, a base hit. Abreu, good arm, and being stopped. Nope. Yes. David Wright. David Wright was going to run through the stop sign, and Mike Schmidt had him held up the whole way.
Well, the ball gets to the outfielders quickly, and it was hit very hard. Actually, Wright was hung up, coming around third base. But Cabrera was shy about throwing over to third base. All he had to do was make a throw to third. Wright was dead. There's the stop sign there from Mike Schmidt. See, there's the ball, and Wright is halfway down the line. Mora was over at third base.
Yep. So runners at the corners for Team USA. Brings up Brian McCann. And Schmidt was down the line where he needed to be. McCann caught the very first game against Team Canada back on Saturday. Went 1 for 2 in that game. Won a home run. 3 runs batted in. Georgia native.
I'll tell you, Bobby Cox will tell you it's nice to know you can get 23 home runs out of the catching position. McCann hit .301 last year. Drove in 87. Good hitting, playing the game's most demanding position behind the dish.
Fun guy to watch at the plate. He's also done a nice job behind the plate defensively. Three-time All-Stars Brian McCann, first Braves player in their history to make 3 in a row to start his career. Way he goes, but Ordonez is there. Team USA threatens, but they can't cash it in. They leave a couple of men on a hit and an error. We've played 2 from Toronto and no score. Top of the 3rd inning here in Toronto at the Rodgers Center. Victor Rojas with Joe McGrain. No score. Here in the third, Venezuela will send up 8, 9, and 1. Blanco, Izturis, and Blanco. Henry Blanco, the catcher, to lead things off, getting his first start of the tournament. Ramon Hernandez, who had a home run last night, getting the evening off.
This Venezuelan team's doing some hacking early, Victor.
Certainly not afraid. Blanco with the Cubs last year, 292, 3 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Solid backup for Giovanni Soto. He gets into one to left. Forget about this one. Venezuela's on top, 1-0. With the outburst that Venezuela had last night, they come into tonight the team leader, World Baseball Classic leaders in home runs with 7, make it 8 now with Blanco's blast to start this third inning.
Well, a lineup that's stacked top to bottom with offense. I was just getting ready to say that Blanco knows Lilly all too well, and his sequences as a teammate with Chicago jumped all over that one.
Cesar Izturis skying one out to left field. Braun calls off Victorino for the first out. I think we've seen pretty much every guy swing at the first pitch.
Really trying to get that pitch in. McCann with the inside target, inside corner, trying to jam him. And when you miss out over the plate, it's usually costly.
Here's Gregor Blanco, the center fielder, lined out to Jimmy Rollins. First. Blanco with the Braves last year, 251. It showed some patience, pardon me, at the plate, walking 74 times as a rookie last year.
Team USA is the home team in this game. After that home run by Blanco, it sounds like a home game for Team Venezuela.
They have traveled well.
Yep.
Their fan base has been behind them every game. The amazing thing, too, aside from that game one where there was 40,000 plus here to see Team USA defeat Canada, some of the best crowds have been when Venezuela has been playing. And Blanco sneaks one down into the right field corner area. He can run a little bit, had a triple last night. He'll settle for a double here.
A couple of pitches in this inning where Ted Lilly has missed more towards the middle of the plate. And again, target on the outside corner, and he misses in the middle of the plate.
Brings up Melvin Moore, the third baseman. He's 0 for 1 with a fly ball to left. Moore just out in front of that one. It is 0-1. Nice play out there.
Melvin Moore, historically very strong on the inside part of the plate. Pitch may have been a little in and off the plate. He's quick in there.
Mentioned the home runs for Venezuela. His team third in the WBC. Batting average at 355. Team USA right behind him at 342. Mexico is leading the World Baseball Classic with a team batting average of 373, followed by Australia. Amazing thing, too, is that the Netherlands, who have qualified, they are the worst hitting team at $137. But they've pitched to a 161 ERA. That's against some very good teams.
That's right. That's our good buddy Bert Blyleven, who's been working with their pitchers.
I think the Baseball Writers of America will take notice next year.
One
Hall
would
of Fame
hope.
balloting. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Moore doesn't like it. Second punch out for Lilly. Second out here in the third.
We were talking how he was kind of missing over the middle of the plate. Watch McCann shift inside, and this time he executes. He hits the glove perfectly and gets the call from Dan Iasongna. You like to see umpires that are aggressive in calling the inside strike, because I think that straightens up the hitter to where he's not leaning out over the plate as much.
Well, this guy wasn't leaning out over the plate the first time up against Lilly. Went down swinging. Free agent in the offseason, picked up by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. This one over to Euclid. Lilly's there. There's the third out, but it's Venezuela that strikes first. The leadoff home run off the bat of that guy, Henry Blanco. We hit at the bottom of the third, 1-0 Venezuela. Hey, join us during the regular season when MLB Tonight brings you live nightly coverage of every major league game from the first pitch in the East to the final out in the West. You won't miss a thing. With breaking news, live look-ins, highlights, and analysis all night long. MLB Tonight every Monday through Saturday throughout the season on MLB Network, our national pastime all the time.
It's something that we're really looking forward to, Victor. Having 2 cameras in every ballpark. Basically being a fly on the wall in every yard.
Marcel Latchman talking to Ted Lilly after coming out of the game. He's going to be done now after 3 innings and 36 pitches, it appears, with LaTroy Hawkins loosening out of the bullpen.
Well, saying something to the effect, hey, when you make your pitches, it works out all right. You're wild in the middle of the plate like anyone, you're going to get hit.
Gave up 3 knocks and a home run. Victorino popping one up. Sturz makes the grab for the first out. Victorino coming to tonight's game 2 for 5, so now 2 for 6. How about Victor Zambrano? 33 pitches this far and no strikeouts, 1 walk. He's done all right for himself.
These hitters are aggressive, and he just needs to pound the strike zone and not find himself getting in hitters counts, which historically has led to his undoing.
Rollins with a fly ball to center. Bottom of the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. There's Hawkins on the right side. John Grabo of the Pirates on the left.
I see a lot of pitchers out of Team USA's bullpen tonight as Davey Johnson tries to get everyone work. Flying Hawaiian.
Talking about the use of that bullpen. That was the case in game 1 against Canada. Running those relievers out there inning at a time. Collins bounces one over to Scudero. 2 outs. Hawkins, Matt Thornton, Joel Hanrahan, Scott Shields, J.P. Howell, J.J. Putz. All got 1 inning of work. That was all back on Saturday. And that's the toughest thing about, yeah, you got your starters. They've got to get their work in, but the relievers, the same thing, especially we got a 13-man pitching staff.
Well, especially with Davey Johnson having to get work for these relievers to get ready for the regular season as well. And to ideally have them throwing on their normal throwing days.
Counted a ball and a strike on Dustin Pedroia, the reigning American League Most Valuable Player. Line down to Miguel Cabrera in the first inning. A fantastic diving snag by Cabrera. Off-speed pitch, hooked down into the corner. Long run for Ordonez, and this one is foul.
Mentioned that Pedroia with the Red Sox, his hitting coach David Magadan works with him on trying to swing a little bit more under control. Something we've seen up here in Toronto is on the field, wherever Derek Jeter goes, Pedroia is right behind him, right close to him.
Jammed him. Zambrano, Blanco. It's Blanco with the call. And a 1-2-3 inning for Victor Zambrano in Venezuela. Shutdown inning at that. We've played 3 from Toronto. Venezuela leads it 1-0. Been a lot of fun thus far. Team USA and Venezuela battling the last game of this round. Ted Lilly, Victor Zambrano, good pitchers matchup thus far. Bobby Abreu having a happy birthday. Cabrera having some fun. Venezuelans celebrating the home run. Henry Blanco to lead off the 3rd inning, and that's where we stand right now. 1-0 as we start the 4th, and it's LaTroy Hawkins. You see a good look at Team USA's dugout. Lilly, as we pointed out, done after 3 innings. And there is Hawkins. See his 2nd game in the World Baseball Classic.
Well, Troy Hawkins with a good long arm action, kind of a true 4-seam riding type fastball. He's been pretty durable over the course of his career.
He really has. Gary, Indiana native, 7th round pick by the Minnesota Twins back in '91. Spent time in the big leagues with the Twins, the Cubs, the Giants, the Orioles, the Rockies, and last year 33 games with the Yankees and going over to the Houston Astros. Struggled with the Yankees last year, but was very solid with Houston. It's 24 games, ERA of .43. Cabrera rolled out to David Wright in the 2nd. He's 0 for 1.
Well, in case you were wondering, David Wright playing 3rd base. Chipper Jones missed some time with the strained oblique. Figures he'll be back in the 2nd round. And good news to report, he took batting practice from both sides of the plate. With a great indication that he is much better. You don't want to risk injuring an oblique by continuing to swing the bat, but he was taking very formidable batting practice this afternoon. This is his teammate Brian McCann.
And we were wondering about that in the last game. These two teams met. Chipper had been struggling, gone 0 for 7 in the World Baseball Classic with 5 strikeouts. You wonder how much the oblique, if it was starting to creep up leading into this round, and all of a sudden maybe did something in one of those swings that aggravated it. It is good news. Precautionary to pull him out of the game, and you see him take a BP. You like that, especially if you're a Braves fan.
Well, and the 0 for and the strikeouts probably didn't make the oblique feel any better either.
This is true. Magli Ordonez stepping in. Picked up a single in the 1st, or pardon me, in the 2nd inning. His first at bat.
Cabrera and Ordonez got it locked in last night against Team Italy.
And a 4-run 4th inning, a 5-run 5th inning, and it was good night against Italia. Got jammed here. Rollins with a little bobble. 2 outs.
Something else that's interesting, Ordonez had the last couple of days a lot of real hittable pitches.
He has. Davey Johnson's coming out. Carlos Guillen, the DH, due up. It looks like John Grabo, the left-hander, is going to come out and make sure that Guillen stays on the right side. It's the Pirates' John Grabo coming on. We pause for a pitching break. It is 1-0 Venezuela. Carlos Guillen, first ball swinging against John Grabo. Skies went out to right center, and Grabo, a yeoman's job. That's the way you get it done, Joe McGray.
Yes, sir.
Middle of the fourth, 1-0 Venezuela. Coming up later tonight, don't miss another live World Baseball Classic game when Mexico takes on Australia. That's tonight, 10 Eastern, right here on MLB Network. Jeter, little bouncer up the middle, tough play and short and safe at first base. Cesar Asturias did everything he could to get Derek Jeter, but it's an infield single.
Well,
Jeter now 1 for 2, partner.
No, you don't see him jogging down the line ever. He was motoring, smelling that leg hit once he got right over the pitcher's head. I think Derek got a break there.
Luis Sojo wants to have a conversation with Carlos Ray.
He was out by half a step.
You got him out?
Out ever so slightly.
Yeah. It's tough to tell with that angle.
This will be it here. Classic bang bang play.
Well, that's a tough call right there.
That is tough.
That one actually looked like he got that foot down first.
He is always motoring.
Regardless, it's a leadoff single for Derek Jeter. Brings up Kevin Youkilis. He's on the infield. Cabrera calls off Blanco. There's the first out. Zambrano so far 3 1/3 as we start to see action in Venezuela's bullpen. Juan Granado is the left-hander that is loosening. .44 pitches for Zambrano. A couple of hits, 1 walk. Team USA had a chance in the second inning. They stranded a couple of men on. This one floated down the right field line, and it's got a chance. It is fouled. There's something we didn't see the other night from Victor Zambrano. The fact that he's really pitching inside, mixing up the fastball, taking a little bit off, adding a little bit.
Well, you like to see the fact that he's been on the attack and not running deep counts and not trying to be too perfect, bat shy, if you will.
Different mindset, perhaps, coming in as a starter as opposed to a bullpen guy. That's when he struggled in his first outing.
You're working ahead. You're thinking clearly. You're being very decisive in what your intentions are.
Show and 2. Wright reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. I believe I had said that Cabrera was charged with an error, but he was taken off. Can't assume the double play in that situation. That one almost got him.
Well, with Wright being the type of hitter that starts a little bit open and he closes himself off, kind of hitting what you would call hitting to the plate. Watch how he just kind of, he's got a little move towards the plate. And sometimes hitters that hit to the plate have a tough time getting out of the way of that one.
He got him on a high fastball. 88 miles an hour. First strikeout for Zambrano. Second out here in the fourth.
Well, in this tournament here in Toronto, the ball's been getting a little deep on David Wright. He knows it's still very early going, or what you would call the early stages of spring training.
And with the left-hander ready to go in the bullpen. Zambrano gets the face done. Now we got a piece of Blanco. No balls in the strike.
And based on that, if Blanco's voice went up a couple of registers, you would understand why.
1 is upstairs. Venezuelans overshift on Dunn. With Sturis, the shortstop, playing just directly behind the bag at second base, and Moore, the third baseman, playing over at the shortstop position. 40 or more home runs for Adam Dunn each of the last 5 years.
Bunyan-esque type presence and strength.
On top of that, he's walked 100 or more times in each of the last 5 years as well. He's signing a 2-year deal with the Nationals. Zambrano thought he had that one. Instead, it's 3 balls and a strike. Full count now, and that'll get Jeter going on the pitch.
A sequence here where Zambrano might come back to a slider. And the impressive thing here in Toronto about Adam Dunn is he's been covering the plate. A couple of home runs, one on the outside corner, one on the inside corner.
Missed inside, and he walked him. Second walk now issued by Victor Zambrano, brings up Brian Braun. Henry Blanco did that, pays a visit. Roberto Espinoza, the pitching coach, is going to go out. Also talk things over.
He doesn't want to see Zambrano get passive here with 2 outs and finish this inning off. He worked Adam Dunn very finely.
Venezuela beat Italy twice. First time Saturday night. And of course last night, Team Canada. 2 and done, the host team here in Toronto. A very good game to kick this Pool C off on Saturday afternoon. A 6-5 loss to Team USA, but really almost lifeless in the 6-2 defeat against Team Italy.
Well, after that pitching conference, oftentimes he reminds the pitcher to be aggressive, and oftentimes he comes right back out of that conference with the first pitch fastball. Let's see if Braun's going to try to capitalize on that, if in fact it is. Changeup.
Braun had a sharp single to right field in the second inning. With 2 outs in that situation, David Wright could not score from second base because the ball was hit so sharply. Abreu had played perfectly. That one's inside the bag. That's a fair ball. 1 run is in. Dunn hustling over to third. And we're tied up at 1 on the Ryan Braun double.
Little 2-out thunder there. Got a hit last time up the other way, so he is really shutting that front side down to drive it the other way. Just a beautiful job of going down and in and not being overly pull conscious. Excellent, excellent piece of hitting.
And it's that swing right there that is going to chase Victor Zambrano. Trying to get it done, just couldn't close out the 4th inning. 1 run in, and Team USA still threatening. They go to the bullpen. We're tied at 1. This is the base hit and infield knock for Derek Jeter. Undisputed call at first base. It got things started. Jeter comes around to score. He's in the dugout. 1-1 tie here in the 4th inning. 2 outs, 2 on. And it's Jan Granado, left-hander, on to face Brian McCann.
Well, Derek Jeter has so many intangibles that helps his team win. Maybe faster guys than him, maybe rangier guys at short. I don't think anyone does as much to help his team win than Derek Jeter.
And here comes the Achilles heel of Team Venezuela. It's bullpen, other than Francisco Rodriguez. Changeup is pulled over to Cabrera, so Granado gets the job done, but not before Zambrano gives up the tying run. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left on. We've played 4 in Toronto. We are knotted up at 1. Who am I? No, yeah. Top of the 5th inning here in Toronto. Good food all over the place. We certainly have eaten like animals over the last 5-6 days. It is a 1-1 tie. And new pitcher on for Team USA. It's right-hander from the Baltimore Orioles, Jeremy Guthrie. Starter.
10-12 a year ago with the Orioles. Real good earned run average, 3.63. Good strong arm. Fastball at times can be in the low to mid 90s.
Chris Iannetta doing the catching now. Brian McCann is on the bench. Iannetta of the Colorado Rockies.
Davey Johnson, a lot of changes in his lineup, trying to keep everyone fresh, everyone sharp, and also making sure that no one's sitting on the bench for too long.
Guthrie last year 10-12, a 3.63 ERA for the Orioles. Made 30 starts. He's a guy who was originally a Cleveland Indian, drafted by them in the 1st round in 2002. Stanford University boy. Placed on the waivers, picked up by the Orioles, and lo and behold, he's blossomed into a nice starting pitcher.
Pretty good arm off the waiver wire to where he's pitching up front in the Oriole rotation.
There's Henry Blanco, catcher, homered off Ted Lilly in the 3rd. Guthrie's the 4th pitcher to work for Davey Johnson. Lilly got the start as that was lined into the corner for extra bases. I may have said that a little too soon. I forgot Henry Blanco was chugging around first.
He's feeling it at the plate tonight. A home run, now a double.
You know what that means? It's halfway to the cycle.
Yep, he is locked in. Pretty quick bat to get that pitch up and in.
Nice play out in left too by Braun. That ball in there. Make it interesting at second base. Sturris hit a fly ball to left in the 3rd inning, so he's 0 for 1. We were talking about the pitchers that Davey Johnson has used. Blanco hit that double. Lilly went 3 innings, allowing a run, 3 hits and a home run. And Troy Hawkins 2/3 of an inning. And John Grabo threw 1/3 of an inning. 1 pitch he threw to get the last out in the 4th. And that was Carlos Guillen.
Well, in a rare departure, no activity in Davey Johnson's bullpen. Guthrie a starter. There for multiple innings.
Pass to Sturris. There's out number 2. Spin the lineup back up to the top. Gregor Blanco, the center fielder, will step in. He's 1 for 2. The line out in the double.
Guthrie with a good, crisp fastball tonight. And Jeremy has tried to find his identity as a pitcher. He was with Cleveland. A lot of four-seam fastballs up in the strike zone. Now he's throwing a lot of two-seam fastballs, trying to sink the ball. Coax a few more ground balls. You're going to consistently ride the ball up in the strike zone. You've got to have pretty good giddy up on his fastball, and Guthrie is kind of a tweener as far as that goes.
On the inside corner. Coming right after guys, not messing around. Trying to get his boys back in the dugout, keeping this game tied at 1. Just missed downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Michael just getting a piece of that one.
Well, it's a good thing the roof is closed, Victor.
Indeed. 60-mile-an-hour winds. Sun came out though. It's amazing how different the city of Toronto looks with the sun's out. In the last couple of days, a lot of gray skies, rain last night.
It was almost like feeling like we were in London. All the cold rain.
Just took your word for it.
I'm sure you did.
Just missed.
Draco Blanco, a little guy. That pitch could have gone either way. Caught very well by Iannetta. Framed it just below the knees.
And this one struck well. This one's going to get over the head of Victorino and to the base of the fence. And he can run all the way to third with an RBI triple. Venezuela's back on top 2-1.
Jeremy Guthrie thought he had him struck out on the previous pitch. Let's watch this guy run. He can flat out motor. Here comes the extra gear. Cutting the bases beautifully.
Pitches up in the strike zone. Driving it over the head of Victorino.
Victorino playing very shallow.
Pro-Venezuelan crowd getting into it. They were into it last night all over the streets of Toronto, up in Yorkville.
Well, you can tell by the response. Like a home game for Team Venezuela.
Nice job by Iannetta there.
As a catcher with the instincts and used to blocking those breaking pitches in the dirt, you're expecting a ball in the dirt, especially with the runner on third. And with the spin it has on it, it kind of, once it hits the dirt, it bounces back to you a little bit. A little English on it. Covered up nicely.
Melvin Morrow for 2. A strikeout and a fly ball to left. Trying to get him to chase that breaking ball with his teammates here. More Guthrie with the Orioles. Ivan Blanco, the big right-hander.
You have a fair share of Blancos on this team, huh? There's another one.
Blanco trifecta, and Moore draws the walk. Okay, the pinch hitter here for Bobby Abreu, who's done after 2 at-bats. Gerardo Parra. Abreu on his birthday 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Foul tipped into the mid of Vianetta. Parra's had 2 at-bats here in the Classic. He's 0 for 2. Both times spelling Abreu out of right field. Guthrie trying to come right back and finish the sitting off right here.
Jeremy Guthrie's going to be out there a while, getting stretched out.
And ready to throw his 24th pitch here in the 5th. He went around. Vianetta will have an easy play over at first base. There's the 3rd out of the inning. Venezuela gets. Ted Lilly got the start for Team USA. 3 innings. Gave the ball over to LaTroy Hawkins. Jimmy Rollins over at shortstop. He's made a nice play tonight. John Crable 1/3 of an inning. All smiles up until the top of the 5th inning. And Team Venezuela went back on top by a score of 2-1. Venezuela with a run in the 3rd to take that 1-0 lead. Team USA tied it in the 4th, but here in the 5th, the RBI triple by Gregor Blanco puts it back on top 2-1. Shane Victorino, Jimmy Rollins, Dustin Pedroia, the scheduled 3 batters against John Granados. This one's into left for a base hit.
I'll tell you, the Flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino's got a quick bat. Pretty direct route to the ball. You get your hits and call it a night, huh?
Absolutely, that's the way it should be. Curtis Granderson takes over. Rollins 0 for 2, a fly ball to center and a ground ball to second. Both of these clubs on their way to Miami for round 2 of the World Baseball Classic, along with Puerto Rico and Netherlands. What do you like in that pool?
I just like how Netherlands has performed to this point, the way they've pitched, and I think they are obviously the real surprise team in this whole shooting match. Pretty hard to guess against Puerto Rico either.
Absolutely. You've got to think that there's going to be some pretty good crowds down at Dolphin Stadium in Miami. Team USA, you've got the 2 Latin countries, Venezuela and Puerto Rico, and of course Netherlands Antilles.
Yeah, that should be a big fiesta down there.
And then some. Rollins skying went out the left. There's the first out. And keep up with all the latest World Baseball Classic news and stats and visit the official online shop of the World Baseball Classic at worldbaseballclassic.com. Here you'll find the largest selection of authentic World Baseball Classic items for all 16 countries, including clubhouse gear, t-shirts, jerseys, and more right from the source, worldbaseballclassic.com. Looks like we're going to make a pitching change here. Jamie Guthrie in the dugout, watching Luis Sojo walk out there. Granado is done. So the fifth, 2-1 Venezuela. Ivan Blanco is the big right-hander who's on the mound for Venezuela. Throw over and Granderson is back. He's facing Dustin Pedroia. 2-1 Venezuela. I'm Victor Rojas with Joe McGray. We're glad you could join us here on MLB Network's coverage of the World Baseball Classic. Blanco takes over for John Granado. Pedroia is 0 for 2. He is lined out and popped out.
There's the Blanco to Blanco battery, often imitated.
Right up the middle. Henry, Ivan, Gregor. Skying one to left, playable for Ordonez. 2 outs.
Might be a situation here where Davey Johnson would start Curtis Granderson trying to get into scoring position and have Jeter drive him in. Cabrera holding the runner, opening up an even bigger hole the right side of the field where Derek Jeter is very adept at hitting.
Backdabbing in safely. Blanco spent some time in the States playing organized ball in the Mariners organization. Career minor league record of 4-5, a 6.17 ERA.
Granderson has that look like he is going.
Jeter got the rally going in the 4th inning with a leadoff infield single. Came around to score the lone run.
Anderson getting that 1 foot on the carpet. A pretty good lead.
12 stolen bases last year for the Tigers.
That's something that he needs to improve upon, is his success rate. So trying to get a jump, a gauge. I think he'd be going here. Nope.
Jeter leans on it. Misses outside, 2-1. Leave with a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. There goes Granderson. Toward the hole at short, and that works to perfection. Venezuela had the shortstop Astures covering on it, opened up the left shot, and Jeter pulls it through for a single.
I figure because he gets so many hits to the right side, they keep the second baseman in place, top of the screen, and with the runner going, shortstop moving over to the bag and opening up a bigger hole.
The reality is, being that Derek is so good at going the opposite way, that percentages tell you that it's a better play to have the shortstop covered. Just so happened the pitch was inside and he was able to pull it.
It worked perfectly, didn't it?
So here's Kevin Youkilis. He's walked and popped down. It's a breaking ball for strike 1. Some would argue that Buchholz probably could have won the Most Valuable Player award last year that went to Dustin Pedroia. He drills one to left center field. This one off the end of the bat. Blanco. Gregor Blanco puts it away. Team USA has a couple of men on, can't cash them. 5 in the books, 2-1 Venezuela. Thanks a lot, Greg. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the World Baseball Classic, Inc. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. As Miguel Cabrera lines one into the left field corner. That's a leadoff double for Venezuela.
You know, we were talking last night in the Venezuela-Italy game how Cabrera is starting to find that timing. He was front-footed and well out in front for most of this tournament. And in the middle of the game last night, it all seemed to come together for him.
Cabrera now 1 for 3. Here's Maglio. He takes the breaking ball low. Guthrie working his second inning of action. Gave up a run on 2 hits. Granderson stays in the game out in center field. The rest of the starters are still in theirs. Maglio is in there. 2 balls and a strike. Good pitch, good location.
Really good pitch to Ordonez to crowd him with that sinking fastball down and in. He really drives the ball well to right center, the off field.
Full count now. Ordonez keeps the at-bat alive. Maglio last year with the Tigers, 21 home runs, 103 driven home. That was for a Tigers team that really underachieved, if you will, considering all the accolades being heaped upon them just about a year ago. All the acquisitions of Dontrell Wilson.
They also had some difficulties in their bullpen. Their back end of the pen, that was a problem. Some injuries to their starting rotation. Make no mistake about it. It's a really good lineup.
Apparently, Luis Sojo wants a pinch runner. And if you're having problems getting a hold of the umpire, why don't you just send the pinch runner running out there?
Right.
And people would figure out, hey, I think they want to make a change. Maglio is done. Andy Chavez is the pinch runner. Carlos Guillen bats from the left side for the first time this evening. He's 0 for 2. Twice having hit a flying ball out to center field.
He has looked very comfortable at the plate in this tournament.
And it's pretty obvious that it's an empty bullpen because Guthrie is a starter and trying to get him some work, having thrown just 33 pitches. The maximum, of course, is 70.
And there's our buddy Barry Larkin next to Davey Johnson.
Guthrie off the mound. There's the first out. Looks like a sacrifice. Runners to second and third. Marco Scudero will get an opportunity here. Scudero so far 0 for 2. Gets a nice round of applause here. He's a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. And a guy that typically plays winter ball in Venezuela every year. Always in the top 5, 10 in batting average. He's won a couple of batting titles down there. Team USA plays the middle infield back. Corners pinch in a little bit, even with the bag.
Ball gets to you pretty quick on the infield. This field turf is very fast.
Davey Johnson feeling that with the boys that he's got swinging the bats and the way they've swung it, especially later on in the game. I'll exchange the out for the run. Scudero last year with the Blue Jays at 267. New career highs and hits with 138, runs scored, runs batted in with 60. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Take a look at this pitch.
That wasn't exactly framed very well. Just on the periphery of the strike zone.
Lays off a breaking ball. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. It is kind of odd that we have not had one of the international umpires behind the plate. I wonder if it was intended to be that way.
Major League umpires have been at the plate and at second base. And international umpires on the lines.
We've seen Dan Iasagna and Marvin Hudson manning the plate. Jerry Meals is out at second. You could see out in center field, Granderson plays a shallow center field just like Victorino. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men on. And the count goes full.
It's been a little difficult for Jeremy Guthrie tonight to make that put away pitch.
He had a couple of punch outs in that 5th inning. So running the pitch count up here in the 6th. Blanco's the man on deck. Henry. Scudero familiar with Guthrie, playing the same division. Line to left field. That's a base hit. One for sure is going to score. Being waved home is Chavez with his speed. He's in there safely. And Venezuela goes up 4-1.
Boy, a very partisan Venezuelan crowd. I mentioned that Guthrie having some difficulty making that put away pitch tonight. 3-2 pitch that ends up being right in the middle of the plate. That is right in the hit me zone.
Marcel Latchman out to the mound, talk things over with Guthrie. Soho liking what he's seeing so far offensively. And now here's Blanco. 2 for 2 with a home run and a double.
.42 pitches for Jeremy Guthrie.
Sweat swing right back to Guthrie. Could be 2. It is, but not before Venezuela tacks on 2 more runs against Guthrie. Big 2 RBI single by Marco Scudero makes it 4-1 Venezuela. CN Tower just outside the Rodgers Center here in Toronto. And inside it is 4-1 Venezuela. Their fans getting into it, knowing that a win this evening at least gives them a little redemption to the loss of 2 Team USA a couple of days ago. Not only that, gives them the higher seed down to Miami in the second round.
Really, it's been amazing, Victor, how partisan their fans have been. They are really into it.
To the point where whether it's a game that means something or not, they energize you. David Wright tonight 0 for 2. He's reached on the fielder's choice and he struck out.
Davey Johnson wanting to see his regulars string some good at-bats together. He'll develop a comfort zone. Going into Miami with a little momentum. I mentioned before, he's not here to dump this game.
Nice play by Scudero going to his left. Robs right of a base hit. Marco Scudero doing it with a bat in the 6th inning. And also with a glove here in the bottom of the frame.
Mentioned that the ball gets to you pretty quickly at the Rodgers Center on the infield. He's playing very deep, which allows him to recede back towards the outfield, enhancing his range. A little deliberate pop-up slide and a nifty little play to get that leadoff man.
Nice player, that Marco Scudero. Very reminiscent of John McDonald also. Similar type of players. Scudero can hit a little bit more than John McDonald.
Of course, John McDonald can pick it a little bit more.
Yes, he can.
He is a real good glove man.
Fun guy to watch. Dunn's grounded out and walked.
Well, Dunn's kind of been the big presence in the USA clubhouse. He's taken it upon himself to exact all the teasing on the individuals. Just walks around and gets on guys. They've really loved his presence, his humor. And his power.
They've liked that so far. Be interesting to watch him during the season with the Washington Nationals, whether it's at first base or out in the outfield. And he's played, when he's been playing in this lineup, he's been in right field. And he went around on the check swing, says Dan Iasagna, and there's out number 2.
Well, with Adam Dunn, what you see is what you get. You have a lot of home runs, a lot of walks, and with that, a lot of strikeouts. Trying to dig out this breaking ball. Little excuse me. Yes, he did go.
So 2 outs, and Ivan Blanco's starting to get a little energy in his body and his motion. And you can feed off of that too, especially you see your team. You're a guy who's a career minor leaguer. You look at the veterans and offensive side of things. You see them get some runs on the board. You take a 4-1 lead, all of a sudden it carries over. The emotion carries over from the dugout onto the mound.
Well, you're right, and I think Blanco on the hill is in a bit of a reflective mood, wondering when was the last time he threw to someone named Blanco.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Uh-huh.
Braun's 2 for 2 tonight. Single, a double, and an RBI. Venezuela with 4 runs on 7 hits. 1 home run off the bat of Henry Blanco. That's the team's 8th in the tournament. Team USA a run on 5 hits. Braun waited nicely on that one, flipping that one to left center. There's a 2-out base hit.
He's in a pretty good frame of mind at the plate. 3 hits for Ryan Braun. His pitch recognition has been very good. He's gone the other way twice. You watch him get that front foot down, wait for it, recognize breaking ball, and then flip it into left field.
Roberto Espinoza, the pitching coach, is going to go out and talk things over with Blanco. As we pointed out earlier, this game doesn't mean a whole lot other than it determines the winner of the pool, and it also, for seeding, matters in Miami in round number 2. It's going to be USA, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and the Netherlands down in Miami at Dolphin Stadium in the 2nd round. MLB Network will have coverage from Miami with Matt Vasgersian, Harold Reynolds calling the action. I think Al Leiter's going to get in the booth as well.
Yeah, Al, former Marlin, former Blue Jay, actually.
It looks like Puerto Rico is going to have the higher seed if they hold on. They're leading the Netherlands 5-0.
And the other good thing about Al Leiter is he's left-handed. Well, most importantly, actually.
Apparently, that's all that can work at the desk at MLB Network. They're left-handers.
That is the prerequisite, don't you think?
Dan Plesac is there.
Mitch Williams.
Chris Iannetta for his first at-bat. Came on as a defensive replacement. Brian McCann got the start for Team USA. Carlos Vasquez is the left-hander that's loosening.
Bullpen has been so active. You figure one of their coaches, Wilson Alvarez, a left-hander, will get up and start throwing.
Had a chance to talk to Wilson in his tournament first start. Actually, that was a workout day, right? That was Friday.
He was excited to be here, much like the rest of the team and the contingent, their huge traveling contingent.
Right through it. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Chris Iannetta.
We've talked about the importance of this game, and for Luis Sojo, very important, managing against Team USA and the bragging rights of his team.
Iannetta lays off of that one, and it's a full count. Chris saw action in game number 2 against Venezuela. Ended up going 2 for 3 with a double, 4 runs batted in. Take a look at Curtis Granderson. He's looking for his first at bat as well. He's a pinch runner for Shane Victorino in the 5th. So Braun will be off the pitch over at first base. And that is down low, so we walked him. So 2 on, 2 outs now for Granderson. And Luis Sojo is going to make a pitching change.
Well, you can see, Victor, just how Sojo is managing this game, how important it is to him in Venezuela.
Keeping the tempo going. Venezuela leads it 4-1. Venezuelans pretty laid back. They've got themselves a 4-1 lead as we play here in the 6th inning. 2 outs, 2 on for Team USA, however. That's the man they'll be facing, career minor leaguer Carlos Vasquez. Throughout his career, it has spanned 7 minor league seasons, a 36-38 record, a 3.78 ERA. And he'll be charged with trying to get Curtis Granderson, who will be stepping up for his first plate appearance of the evening. He's got Braun at second, Iannetta over at first. Granderson is 2 for 6 so far in the Classic with 1 RBI.
Yeah, I mentioned for the morale of Venezuela and the way that Soho is managing this game, he really wants it. Matching up left-handers.
Curtis Granderson last year with the Tigers, 280. A 22 home runs, 66 driven home. Leadoff man for the Tigers.
Team USA has got it done with power, and one swing here gets him right back in it. Granderson 22 home runs a year ago for the Tigers.
The 0-2 called strike 3. A 3-pitch performance by Vasquez. Team USA leaves 2 more on base. That's 8 total. Venezuela's up 4-1. To the 7th we go here at the Rodgers Center in Toronto. 4-1. Venezuela's on top. Jeremy Guthrie out for another inning of action. He's thrown 43 pitches. And he'll be facing 9-1-2. Asturias, Gregor Blanco, Melvin Moore, the scheduled 3. Cesar Asturias, the shortstop from the St. Louis Cardinals, 0 for 2. A fly ball to left and a strikeout. This one pulled inside the bag toward the corner. Dunn plays the carom, and Asturias in at second with a double. Well, you know what? You go back a couple days ago, 15-6 drubbing at the hands of Team USA. There is some motivation for these guys.
These guys are tough to catch right now. They just keep pulling away. Another extra base hit.
Gregor Blanco steps in. He's 2 for 3 with a double, a triple, and a run batted in. Corner infielders for Team USA are in, and Blanco's not bunting. He's in the hole at 0-1. Blanco with 3 for 5 in that game against Team USA in the loss, with a triple in that game as well. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Maybe just trying to move him over, knowing how important here in the 7th inning, how that extra run could be.
Not a very good bunt attempt. And he's fortunate that he gets another opportunity, but now has a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Him in the infield end, he tried to be just a little bit too fine with it.
Yeah, the art of squaring around and just sacrificing, long gone.
Yep, the bunting is definitely a lost art.
Some would argue that in the whole money ball mentality nowadays, the giving up of an out is not necessarily good for business. Now in line past the diving Rollins. Well, I tell you what, Asturias really took a chance on that one because he was hung up between second and third. If Rollins makes that catch, he assumed that ball was going into left.
You're right. He did not freeze on the line drive, and if Jimmy Rollins comes up with it, it's 2 outs.
So runners at the corners here. Melvin Mora will step in.
He had himself really hung up. A good look at it there. Mentioned that Mora is very strong on the inner third of the plate. Blanco runs very well at first.
Just down in front of the off-speed pitch. No balls and a strike on the Venezuelan third baseman, who's 0 for 2. Did draw a walk in the 5th. Again with the off-speed pitch. And it's 0-2. Matt Thornton, Chicago White Sox, left-hander.
It's one of those pitches, Jeremy Guthrie, if you're reading the bat, might want to subtract a little more on that breaking ball. Mora well out in front, really looking for the strikeout here.
Well, he got him out in front, broke his bat, and he'll need some new lumber. Venezuela with 25 extra base hits in the first round of the World Baseball Classic. Just slightly ahead of two teams tied at second, Mexico and Team USA with 13.
Well, we said from the very first game they played here that they will bring the offense and plenty of it.
And that's ridiculous. 25 extra base hits, 4 games.
Their lineup really is an all-star team from Melvin Mora, Bobby Abreu, Miguel Cabrera, Maglio Ordonez, Carlos Guillen. It's the old 5-3 move. Rarely does it work. It works just enough to continue to try it.
And not a popular move in Venezuela, we understand.
Uh-huh.
Asturis led off with a double, Blanco with a single. A couple of burners on the base paths for Melvin Mora. Still in the hole at 0-2. Moore to center field. Granderson's going to play it on a hop. Asturis will score. RBI single for Mora. 5-1 Venezuela. Davy Johnson's coming out. And at 54 pitches, Jeremy Guthrie's evening has come to an end. Looked like he had good stuff, just has not been able to put it together. We pause for a pitching break. 5-1 Venezuela. Jeremy Guthrie out of the game after 2+ innings, 7 hits allowed. He's allowed 4 runs so far and responsible for the 2 that are on base. Matt Thornton, big left-hander, is up. He's facing Gerardo Parra, the right fielder. Parra pinch hit for Bobby Abreu in the 5th inning and struck out against Guthrie. Breaks his bat here. Looks like it's going to turn 2. It is. Pedroia, nice job. We take a look at the box score for Team Venezuela, highlighted. Henry Blanco's gotten things started, the catcher of the home run in the 3rd inning. He's 2 for 3. And Gregor Blanco at the top of the order, 3 hits, a single, a double, and a triple. You would think if he gets another chance, maybe the 9th, to lift and separate to try to get that cycle. I want a cycle tonight. Max Ramirez pinch hitting for Miguel Cabrera. Max out of the Texas Rangers organization.
Well, with Matt Thornton, you don't see too many lefties coming out of the pen with that kind of express. Fastball in the mid-90s, that one at 94. And it really looks like he's not really working that hard to do it. It just kind of comes easy out of his hand. Creating great leverage on the mound.
Jams Ramirez. Adam Dunn with the call. There's the 3rd out of the inning. See, Thornton does the job, picks up Jeremy Guthrie, but Venezuela gets a run in on 3 hits. 7th inning stretch time. It is 5-1 Venezuela. Great shot of the Rodgers Center in Toronto, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays. The last game of Pool C here in the first round of the World Baseball Classic. Glad you could join us. It is 5-1 Venezuela as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. 1, 2, and 3 due up for Team USA. Rollins, Pedroia, Jeter against the big man, Carlos Vasquez. Came in through 3 pitches and struck out Curtis Granderson to end the 6th inning.
And it's getting late. Team USA needs to make a run here.
They've stranded 8 men so far this evening, 2 each in the last 3 innings. So they've had some opportunities, just have not been able to capitalize. Rollins 0 for 3, a couple of fly ball outs and a ground ball to second.
Davey Johnson coached the Olympic team over in Beijing. They won a bronze medal. And Jimmy Rollins will be looking for more wood.
The old Manny Mota stick, rubbing it on the bat. The boos you heard in the background, Team USA fans, the USA chant go, drowned out of the Venezuelan crowd.
The Venezuelan crowd much more represented here than USA fans.
You know, as disappointed as Team Canada probably was in their defeat to Italy and knocking them out of the tournament. If you're one of those players and you look around the Rodgers Center, there's 12,000 people. I mean, that's ridiculous. You're in your backyard and you only can draw 12,000 for a possible elimination game. Rollins is thrown out for the first out. Take a look at the box score for Team USA thus far, and we'll let Joe counter on that point here in just a second. It's really been quiet. Big guy has been Ryan Braun, 3 for 3, a couple of singles and an RBI double. Luis Sojo wants to make sure that his entire team gets into the game. Apparently, he's coming out with a pitching change. Orber Moreno coming on. A nice job by the big right-hander that is Carlos Vasquez. Right-hander Orber Moreno will come into the game. 1 out, nobody on here in the 7th. 5-1 Venezuela. He'll face Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia thus far 0 for 3. He's lined out, popped out, hit a fly ball to left. Moreno has seen action once in this tournament. 1 inning, 1 hit. Pedroia takes a strike. Pedroia with his 0 for 3. He's now 2 for 14 in the tournament.
Well, Victor, with Moreno coming into the game, one of the few times we have not seen any activity in the Venezuelan bullpen.
There may not be anybody left out there.
Well, there is that point too. You know, you were mentioning earlier about Canada facing an elimination game in front of 12,000 fans when they played USA. Previous to that, there were over 42,000 fans. So you're right, quite a drop-off. Talked to Larry Walker, one of the coaches with Canada, the next day, and he was still smarting from that loss.
Pedroia reaching for one. This one over to Max Ramirez. And flip to Moreno. They just do get Pedroia for the second out. So 2 outs, nobody on for Derek Jeter. I mean, it's almost really, if you think about it, like a Blue Jays game. Yeah, it's an opening day. They'll have 55,000 people here. Day number 2, unfortunately, just the way that things have gone for the Blue Jays of late. And a lot of teams go through that. I just thought for the World Baseball Classic, you're hosting it. You get a chance to see possibly for the last time your team.
Right.
And all you can manage is 12.
Some of the Blue Jay crowds a lot more lower key than the passionate Venezuelans tonight.
Derek tonight 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. He scored the one. USA run in the fourth.
That's never good.
He'll take his base.
Got a piece of his fingers, or did he get him in the wrist? He's had that jackknife type swing.
Wait a second.
Did that get his bat?
I thought that got his bat.
That's the bat, folks.
He sold it. I mean, he maybe glanced off the shin, or the pardon me, the forearm. Either way, he's at first base for Kevin Youkilis.
Very well sold, huh?
Youkilis tonight has walked, popped out, hit a fly ball to center. 10 hits for Venezuela, 6 so far for Team USA. Moreno, the 5th pitcher used by Luis Sojo.
Seems like it's been more than that.
He is matched up for sure. Youkilis out to center field. Gregor Blanco with the call and the catch. It's the 3rd out. Nothing doing for Team USA. 7 in the books. Venezuela on top 5-1. Chavez to lead things off against new pitcher Scott Shields of the Angels.
I've seen Cuba a lot on the international level, and that team does not rattle. They're just very poised and right till the end. We're able to pull it out.
I'll tell you what, I like what I've seen so far of Australia.
Baseball program has come a long way from down under.
Andy Chavez out to right center field. Curtis Granderson can't get it. Chavez will go all the way to 3rd. Yet another extra base hit for Venezuela.
They're cranking him out. Mentioned before that Curtis Granderson plays a very daring center field, daring Chavez to hit the ball over his head. Shields, going back to his last outing, kind of pitching in a way that we don't see him pitch very often during the regular season. He is down, pounding the strike zone down. A couple of appearances here in Toronto, he's been up.
Shields, couple of hits, a run. Threw a lot of pitches in that outing. Carlos Guillen still in the lineup for Venezuela. He is the DH, and he's 0 for 3. Nice stop by Chris Iannetta behind the dish. Shields not happy with that location. Pitch was up.
He knows he needs to get the ball down to be successful with that snaky, sinking type fastball. Again, another pitch up. Just kind of running underneath the ball. He's underneath the ball to where the ball is going up in the zone.
Guillen popping one foul. This one will find its way in the seats. 2 balls and a strike on Carlos Guillen. Remember the Detroit Tigers, 286 last year with 54 driven home.
You know, we were spending some time with Barry Larkin last night, and he was really impressed with the late movement and action that Shields has on his fastball when it's down. He's still struggling to try to find that spot.
This one will keep the runner at third base. Euclid takes it himself for the first out. Guillen 0 for 4 now. Brings up Marco Scutaro, who had the 2 RBI single off Jeremy Guthrie back in the 6th inning. Shields last year went through a stretch where he was struggling with his control early in the season. Finally got it locked in. The infield drawn in, I should say. Scutaro takes the breaking ball downstairs for ball 1.
Of course, Shields, one of the big reasons why K-Rod was able to notch 62 saves for the Angels last year. He gave him those opportunities, a great bridge to the closer.
Good pitch there, evens count. Darren Oliver had a nice year for the Angels as well. Jose Arredondo stepped up.
And down.
On the ground, Chavez, good speed. That'll be foul. Going on contact even with the infield drawn in. Force the issue. Why not with a 5-1 lead in the 8th?
Well, with his good speed, saw that the ball was softly hit.
This is the first start for Scutaro in the Classic. I've seen him as a pinch hitter. Did not play yesterday in the big win over Italy.
Well, the Italian team can have some fun, huh?
Yes, they can. Saw a couple of them today. They're still hanging around.
He enjoyed the experience so much, and their manager Marco Mazzieri was talking about the effort level of his team and how he feels, although they were eliminated, it was a victorious event for them.
Coming home is Chavez. Wright's got it to Iannetta. They got him. Nice play by David Wright. Bang, bang, gets Chavez. That's the second out of the inning.
Well, not only does he have a great release here getting rid of it, but the throw is absolutely where it has to be, to where Iannetta does not have to do much in way of a tag. He just kind of slides right into the throw, actually. So not only with the good footwork and the good exchange, but great location on the throw to Iannetta. That throws up a little bit. Chavez slides under the tag. Could not have been any more perfect.
Okay, great camera work here at the Rodgers Center. So 2 outs and a pitching change. 5-1 Venezuela. Oakland A's closer Brad Ziegler's in the game. Henry Blanco, first ball swinging into center field, a base hit. Henry Blanco have a game. 3-hit night, single, double, and a home run. And with 2 outs, Venezuela with runners at first and second send up Cesar Asturias, the 9th place hitter.
Can't take Henry Blanco out now. He's too hot.
Ziegler, the 7th pitcher for Davey Johnson today, as Asturias slaps one foul.
Oh.
Where do you use the body there?
And then some. Not everyone's in midseason form here.
I like the nonchalant approach about it too.
Right? I think that ball kind of played him a bit.
Just a tad. This one off the plate. Ziegler. Oh. Boy, a lot of spin on it. Shields 2/3 of an inning. 1 hit.
Dan Iasson, the home plate umpire, was playing this like it was a fair ball. He came out behind the plate.
Ziegler came just a little bit inside on his tours, and that will load him up.
Boy, you could hear that. You could hear that thud sound. That got him absolutely square.
Ziegler struggled in his previous outing. 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 runs. Hit a man in that game as well.
Let's see if we get this with sound. That was a thud right on the hip. You could tell that really stung him.
Ziegler last year got to the big leagues. Spent time early on with AAA Sacramento. And 3-0 with a 1.06 ERA. 11 saves. Bases loaded. Gregor Blanco takes strike 1. A single, a double, a triple, an RBI for Blanco.
Think he's swinging for the fences here?
Why not? Right back to Ziegler. Tough guy to lift and separate on. There's a 3rd out. Nothing doing for Venezuela. Load them up and they leave them loaded. Middle of the 8th. 5-1 Venezuela. Hey fans, all this month MLB Network takes you on the road to visit every spring training camp with 30 clubs in 30 days. Thursday, we're at San Francisco Giants camp in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's 30 clubs in 30 days. Thursday night at 8 Eastern, right here on MLB Network. Wright, Dunn, and Braun, the scheduled 3 against Ober Moreno. David Wright 0 for 3. He made a fantastic defensive play in the top of the inning.
He's definitely a gem. He's looking to get the bat a little more out in front of the plate here.
That was a look at Luis Mazza, who's the new 3rd baseman. Moreno's had a couple of cups of coffee in the big leagues.
And so have we tonight.
He blows that one past right for out number 1 here in the 8th. 47 games for the big right-hander.
Well, David Wright, looking at that replay up on the scoreboard, knows that he's a little tardy, wanting to get that bat out in front, get a little more ready to hit. Knows he wasn't quite ready on that one.
Adam Dunn 0 for 2 with a walk.
And to say when someone needs to do a better job getting ready to hit, that's not about being inattentive. It's just getting set and getting started a little sooner.
Good breaking ball there, down and in. Heath Bell on the right, Jonathan Broxton on the left. 2 balls and a strike. Dunn traded last year from the Cincinnati Reds to the Diamondbacks. Had a tough go of it this past offseason as far as his free agency, but managed to get a 2-year deal from the Washington Nationals.
There's a lot of players that had a tough go this offseason. The market really recorrecting and coming back, and a lot of good players still out there.
Full count now.
It's starting to look like you're not going to see some of those older players in their mid-30s get these multi-year contracts.
Pedro's World Baseball Classic run over. Pudge is still looking for a job. He's with Puerto Rico. And he lost him. 1-out walk by Moreno.
Bobby Abreu, a 1-year deal with the Angels.
Growing fad, that hairdo, especially amongst the Venezuelans.
I don't think down in Venezuela they would call it a mullet, but I think you could call it that north of the border.
Or you could just say un mullet.
Right.
Maglio is the guy that started that look.
It's to the point where it almost looks like if they take their hat off, the hair comes off with it.
Isn't that what Al Hrabosky does now when he does the old Mad Hungarian thing? Doesn't he have a hat with the hair in it?
Yeah, he's all set up.
Drilled to straightaway center field. Long run out there for Blanco, but he tracks it down. Second out as Dunn hustles back to the bag.
That goes for an out, but Ryan Braun has had 4 real good at-bats tonight where he has squared the ball up. He has to be real happy with how he is right now. Of course, just an amazingly quick bat. We're talking to him about his bat speed.
Here's Chris Iannetta of the Rockies. Iannetta took hold of that Rockies starting job last year. And he gets into one down the left field line.
Boy, is that hit.
Towering shot. And that is a home run. Minoru Nakamura with the call. A 2-run shot. And all of a sudden, it's a 2-run game. 5-3 Venezuela.
Boy, you talk about hammered. That was well up there. Into the nitro zone. Look how far this goes.
Wow. Brings up Curtis Granderson. All of a sudden, the fans that are here rooting for Team USA come alive as Granderson takes strike 1.
See that World Baseball Classic tarp. That's where Jose Canseco hit one off Mike Flanagan in the playoffs some years ago. They have a seat that's colored where that ball landed, but of course the tarp covering it. It's up there pretty close to it.
Granderson threw the breaking pitch. It's 1-2 now.
Ball landed in that deck right above the Tom Cheek banner.
Called strike 3. Granderson, second consecutive at bat, strikes out. Team USA gets a 2-run shot from Iannetta. It is 5-3 Venezuela. Top of the 9th inning here at the Rodgers Center, Toronto. Victor Rojas with Joe McGrain. All of a sudden, we got ourselves a little ball game here as we head to the ninth. 5-3 Venezuela. Davy Johnson turning the ball over to Jonathan Broxton.
Off the Los Angeles Dodgers, and this guy can really rush it up there. He muscles the ball to the plate. Big, strong, burly guy.
Georgia native who grew up a Braves fan. 70 games last year with the Dodgers. 3-5 and a 3.13 ERA. Ended up racking up 14 saves last year for the Dodgers.
This Venezuelan lineup tonight's been hitting the ball right down the lines. Of course, a lot of extra base hits in this tournament.
Maz in his first at-bat tonight. He's in the spot where Melvin Mora was in the lineup in the 2-hole for Luis Sojo. Mora ended the day going 1 for 3, and there come the Venezuela chants again. Heard a lot of these last night against Italy, to the point where they were calling out players out of the dugout. Nice pitch right there, and down goes Mazza for the first out.
I think it's a little too close to start taking curtain calls. The game was well out of hand last night, so I don't think you'll see that tonight.
Now when you got that guy up and loosening. Francisco Rodriguez pitched last night in the 8th inning. At that point it was 10-1. He actually has a save situation coming tonight. Off the knuckles, barehanded. Nice play by Broxton. 2 outs.
Barehanded, that looked bare clawed, like he was snatching a salmon right out of the stream.
He's got 2 quick outs here in the 9th inning. Here comes Max Ramirez, the first baseman. Broxton was very tough against right-handers last year, limiting them to a 181 average. Max 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right. More than likely headed to AAA Oklahoma City, the Rangers organization.
97 miles an hour from Jonathan Broxton. High riding heat.
Little giddy up. Kind of has a little Eric Gagne to him, doesn't he?
Similar builds.
Kind of the way he stands on the mound looking for the sign. Opened up a little bit.
I'll tell you, he has what used to be called that Linda Ronstadt fastball. Blew by you.
Fastball just missed outside at 96.
It's pretty quick.
Just got a piece of that one. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, you've got the top of the order coming up. Rollins, Pedroia, Jeter, the scheduled 3 to face K-Rod. And again, both of these teams already in round 2, just playing for the overall winner of this pool. This is Pool C. And for the higher seed in the 2nd round. Ramirez making Broxton work here in the 9th.
I don't think he minds the work. Already has a nice lather going on that hat. Getting a good sweat going. He's throwing some heat.
Checked his swing on the breaking ball, and the count goes full. 12 hits tonight for Venezuela, 7 for Team USA. Over the last 4 innings, Venezuela's had multiple hits.
K-Rod lurking.
Got him looking on a breaking ball. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Jonathan Broxton. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Team USA down by 2. Bottom of the 9th inning. 5-3 Venezuela. Francisco Rodriguez. That's a nice gesture right there.
Well, they've had a lot of fun up here. Chance to add to it.
Rollins, Pedroia, Jeter against Francisco Rodriguez, who had 62 saves last year, a major league record. And now the closer for the New York Mets. Rollins is 0 for 4 this evening. Team USA's had base runners throughout the game. They've stranded 9. Off-speed pitch. And it's 1-2.
That's the nasty change up there from K-Rod. Look at it here. Yeah, that's some action.
Now one in the dirt. And of course, with all the quote-unquote trash talking that started with Jimmy Rollins a couple of years ago, K-Rod's gotten into the mix as well this past offseason after he signed. These two guys will be facing off, I'm sure, quite a bit in the National League East. Outside, full count.
And along with his teammate that's currently warming up in the USA bullpen, J.J. Putz, who as of right now will be setting up to K-Rod, who really wanted that pitch just a little bit off.
So full count. And he lays off ball 4. So the leadoff man is on here in the 9th. And brings up Dustin Pedroia. Good at bat for Jimmy Rollins. Pedroia is 0 for 4 as well. There goes Rollins on the very first pitch. Take the double play out of it. And now they'll run through the signs with a man at second base. There's Davey Johnson trying to get through this pool at 3-0, but down by 2 here in the 9th. Pedroia out to center. 1 out. Brings up Derek Jeter. He's 2 for 3. Last time up was hit by a pitch, we think. Good throw here from Gregor Blanco all the way to third base.
Throw a little bit of hang on it. Little rainbow.
A long toss throw.
Right.
It's in there for a strike on the breaking pitch. Derek Jeter in his career against Francisco Rodriguez, 4 for 9.
He's very good at staying back, recognizing pitches, driving it the other way. You'll see him out front very often.
A little bit of an emergency hack right there on a good fastball. 0-2.
He just does not scare in these situations. Talking about Jeter.
Breaking ball over to third. Mazza with a bobble. 2 men on with 1 out here in the 9th. An error by Luis Mazza.
What do you think that did to the nerves of the Venezuelan fans right there? Just having the door swing ajar with the winning run at the plate.
Well, I tell you what, you get your closer out there, makes a fantastic pitch, a key out, and instead it opens the door here now for Youkilis, possibly David Wright.
Couldn't have been any more routine than it was. Just clanked.
Youkilis 2 for 7 against K-Rod with a couple of strikeouts.
I guess it was tough for him to chew gum and field at the same time.
Fastball for a strike. Youkilis tonight a walk. And then 3 fly ball outs.
K-Rod's velocity really dropped off at the end of last year, and that one had plenty on it at 94.
Another fastball. It's 0-2.
Pretty good pitch.
Runners go. The throw goes to second base. They got Jeter. Terrific throw from Henry Blanco. 2 outs.
Trail runner oftentimes doesn't get as good a jump. Just a perfect throw. Excellent release. I think that means let's go.
Got him on a 1-2 changeup. Francisco Rodriguez closes it out. Venezuela, by virtue of the victory tonight, picks up Pool C and the higher seed going into Miami.
Well, look at the reaction. That'll tell you everything about the importance of this game to the country of Venezuela and its players. Frankie Rodriguez taking the ball out of Henry Blanco's glove to keep as a memento.
Team USA put a drubbing on Venezuela a couple of nights ago, 15-6. Venezuela comes back out, actually got some quality pitching, and picks up the victory by the final of 5-3. Victor Zambrano, the starter, and he got the job done. In Miami, that's round 2 Saturday at 1 p.m. The Netherlands will take on Venezuela. Then Saturday night, 8 p.m., Team USA will take on Puerto Rico. Both games will be shown on MLB Network. Our final score again, Venezuela 5, Team USA 3. Please join us for a continued coverage of the World Baseball Classic throughout the tournament on MLB Network. A look at tonight's game, Mexico against Australia at 9 Eastern. We have enjoyed our time at Toronto. It's been a lot of fun here. The folks of Ontario, gracious hosts. And we thank our entire crew for the job that they've done over the last week here, as we see K-Rod and the rest of the Venezuelans celebrating in their dugout. We thank you all for watching. And as the Rodgers Center really says goodbye to the World Baseball Classic, they get ready for the regular season, but the Venezuelan fans certainly don't want this to end. And no question, they will be jumping on a bird, heading down to South Florida. And they will be down there rooting their Venezuelans on in the second round of the World Baseball Classic. Again, a 5-3 final. Venezuela beats USA. For our entire crew, we thank you so much. For Joe McGrain, I'm Victor Rojas. Thanks for watching World Baseball Classic action on the MLB Network. Good night from Toronto.